Hey everybody, this is the weekly forecast commencing on Monday, April the 29th, 2024. A lot of shifting energies this week as pleasure-seeking romantic Venus is changing signs and ambitious assertive Mars is changing signs. And we're going into a new moon next Tuesday, May the 7th. And as I mention once a month, the week prior to the next new moon is a wrapping up and winding down of what was triggered with the previous new moon. So there's a lot to unpack, but before I break all this down on what's going on every day, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find direct links to book an astrology reading or sign up for my free daily message. All right, Monday the 29th of April, the moon that sets the public tone is going to be in Capricorn. Capricorn is very work-oriented, goal-oriented, very practical energy, very earthy energy, good for business. So to start the new work week with the emotional moon in Capricorn is ideal for jump-starting to go after and accomplish your goals. But around 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, the emotional moon will be squaring or in tension with rational Mercury. Now, there could be misunderstandings, miscommunications. See, the moon is your emotional responses, but with the Mercury being rational, you may be caught up in a conversation with one person being more emotional and the other person being more rational, and you're on different pages. The point is, it only lasts for an hour or two, from about 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, so you wouldn't want to have any important meetings. However, early evening, the moon in earthy Capricorn will be in harmony, a trine, to innovative progressive Uranus in earthy Taurus. This is really favorable for being more open to trying new things, shaking things up, getting out of any stuck routines or limiting habits. But on the 29th, pleasure-seeking, creative, and romantic Venus is moving into Taurus until May the 23rd. Previously, before the 29th, Venus was in fiery Aries. Venus in Aries loves to flirt, loves the chase, loves to initiate new energies. But when it goes into Taurus, Venus is the planet associated with Taurus. So Venus is at home. It can give its best results in Taurus through May the 23rd. And also this end of April, the first 3 weeks of May, the sun is in Taurus. So where the sun is putting a spotlight in your horoscope, it's also highlighting Venus. Venus is cooperative, it's pleasurable, it's harmonious. It's also good for finances because Venus likes the finer things in life that cost money. So this is not a daily thing. This is kind of the background of romance, creativity in sensual, steady Taurus. On Tuesday, the 30th, the moon is going to be continuing in pragmatic Capricorn, but at 8:20 a.m. Pacific time, the moon now goes into Aquarius. Capricorn was more about tradition, conventional, the past. the Aquarius energy, which is influencing kind of the public mood, Aquarius is more about the future. It's about more innovation. It's more unconventional, where Capricorn is very conventional. So you'll certainly sense a sense of shifting energies with the public. So with most people, going from being more conventional, playing it safe, to taking risks and doing something unconventional with the moon in Aquarius. Also, Mars, assertive Mars, has been in Pisces about the last 6 weeks. Pisces is one of the weaker signs for Mars to be in, because Mars is very external, assertive, aggressive energies. But when it's in Pisces, it's being pulled inward, and Mars wants to go outward. So there's a lot of overall frustrations with the world, trying to achieve your goals. It's more difficult to be upfront, competitive, and express your anger. But on April the 30th, Mars, for the first time in 2 years, goes into fiery Aries. And Mars is at home in Aries, as Venus is at home with Taurus, so it wants to give its best results. Mars is in harmony with Aries. Aries is ambitious, it's me first, it's courageous, it's taking risks. All these are the same qualities of Mars. This is why Mars in Aries is going to really be much about more dynamic, assertive energies. This goes to June the 8th. So the background for the world is going to be more competitive, more assertive, more risk-taking. Now, the moon in Aquarius, Aquarius is also represents friendships and group activities. So here's that moon in that group-oriented Aquarius. But it's going to be in a hard square angle to social Venus around noon, 1 o'clock Pacific time. At the same time, it's crossing over probing, compulsive Pluto. When the Venus is in tension, when the moon's in tension with Venus, you may feel you're not getting your needs met. You're feeling something's amiss with relationships. That could be triggering then the emotional moon crossing Pluto at the same time. That Pluto represents the unconscious, the underworld. So when the moon every 30 days, approximately every 28 days, crosses the Pluto, it could be a time of deep introspection or triggering some really profound conversations. And that could be triggered with the moon Venus. It's like something's amiss. So then the moon Pluto is either triggering you personally to go into a lot of introspection and soul searching, or with Mars in Aries, you're being more upfront, more confrontive right away. So with the moon Venus, where you might be feeling you're not getting your needs met, the moon Pluto is, we need to talk about this. But it wants to clear the air. But also, this is Tuesday the 30th. And the following Tuesday, May the 7th, is the new moon in Taurus. So this Tuesday, the 30th, begins the last week before the next new moon. And I mention this every month. The last week is a winding down, a wrapping up, a bringing closure to what was triggered with the previous new moon, which was April the 8th. So you don't want, unless there's other mitigating factors in your horoscope, the general rule of thumb, you don't really want to initiate major new projects when the moon is in a winding down phase, especially if you're wanting to start something new and the energy is winding down. But after Tuesday, May the 7th, the energy is amping up. That's the word. And is moving forwards. So this last week, of the moon cycle could also be favorable for doing a lot of reflecting and preparing before taking action to move into some new directions after next Tuesday. On Wednesday, May the 1st, now the moon, continuing in Aquarius, will be in harmony with rational decision-making Mercury. The moon is emotional, the Mercury is rational. They were in conflict with each other, in tension with each other Monday morning, Pacific time. But on Wednesday afternoon, Pacific time, now the moon is in harmony with Mercury. So this is a very favorable time for expressing or talking about your feelings. The moon is the feelings, the Mercury is the communications. Very favorable for writing, for all forms of you expressing yourself. It also could bring a lot of restlessness to try new things, to get out of old stuck routines, but nothing major because the moon, we're in the last cycle of the new moon period. On Thursday the 2nd, the moon continues in progressive Aquarius, but it's going to go void of course, 2:28 a.m. to 11:52 a.m. Pacific time. As I mention this every week, when the moon is void of course, it's in the process of changing signs. It won't, at 11:52 a.m. Pacific time, it moves into Pisces. But when the moon is void of course, it's not making any aspects to any other planets until it starts the cycle again when it goes into Pisces. So, with no activity with other planets, the energy is flat. It's unproductive. And especially being this last week of the lunar cycle, you really don't want to start and initiate any important new events with the moon void of course, because the energy is flat and unproductive. It's okay to stick with the routine. It may be good for reflection and resting. Really important, don't start anything important new. But when the moon goes into Pisces for those next couple of days, Pisces couldn't be more different than Aquarius. Aquarius is very impersonal. The Pisces is very personal. Aquarius is in your head. The Pisces is in your heart. The moon in Pisces, there's more this promoting the public to be more compassionate, empathetic, more kindness. Those are the best of the moon in Pisces. By early afternoon on the 2nd, the moon in sensitive Pisces will be in harmony, a sextile, a 60-degree angle, to Venus. Venus is relationships, it's cooperation, it's the arts. So having the emotional moon in harmony with Venus, early evening Pacific time, very favorable for having a romantic dinner, very favorable for attending any kind of art exhibit or a concert, the theater, a movie, because Venus is all that creative, enjoyable energies. On Friday, as the moon continues in compassionate Pisces, Mars, assertive Mars, in aggressive Aries, will be in harmony, a sextile, to Pluto in Aquarius. It's strongest the first 12 hours of Pacific time. After 12 noon Pacific time, it's sort of winding down, but it's still there, and it's still Mars-Pluto, still intense. So there's going to be a lot of drive and motivation to assert yourself, being more adventurous, aggressive. But you don't want to start any important new projects, no matter how ambitious you're feeling, until the new moon on May the 7th. So this Mars-Pluto, it's not a waste of energy because you can't start something new. This could be really favorable for accomplishing old tasks, old goals that you've been working on. You could maybe complete and accomplish and be much more productive with everything on Friday, especially the first half of the day, Pacific time. As the moon is in Pisces, it will be in harmony with the sun in Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign, Pisces is a water sign. They blend, they're very compatible. So when the sun and the moon are in harmony, which will be late morning Pacific time, relationships are more easygoing. The energy just seems to be more flowing, more comfortable. Even with that Mars-Pluto, you're feeling really assertive, but you're not into this competitive fighting tension area. The moon, continuing in Pisces, will cross over Sirius contracting responsible Saturn from about 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. This might be an hour or two that you're really worrying about your responsibilities. You might be feeling maybe emotionally isolated and lonely. The thing is, it only lasts an hour or two, and then we move on to Saturday, where the moon, the first part of the day, continues in sensitive Pisces, and around noon to 1 p.m. Pacific time, the moon will be aligning with Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So the moon in Pisces crossing over its rulership, or Neptune, is a really intuitive, empathetic, charitable time. Could also be really favorable for music, for creativity. It can be an idealistic fantasy time, great for the arts. But come 1:41 p.m. Pacific time, the moon leaves that more internal, reflective Pisces and moves into Aries once a month. And so that emotional reaction, fiery Aries, you might be more impatient, more aggressive, more assertive. But keep in mind, Aries is the sign prior to Taurus. The new moon's in Taurus. So you're in the real wrapping up period. It's called the shadow phase. Best for reflection. You may be feeling a lot of restlessness Saturday and Sunday into early Monday because of that emotional moon in fiery Aries, but it's in the shadow phase before the new moon in Taurus. So it's best to do a lot of reflecting and introspection, and maybe getting excited about what you want to get, what do you want to launch and start something new, but not over the weekend, maybe after Tuesday. The moon in fiery Aries will cross over Mars in Aries from about 7 to 8 p.m., so Saturday night Pacific time. That moon Mars could be very passionate or very anxious or very irritable, maybe argumentative, because it's in the shadow phase and you're feeling all this energy is kind of being stifled, but you want to push forwards. That might be some impatience with others, and it's a Saturday night, and so who knows. But best to just release all that pent-up energy through exercise. Saturday night, in the evening, go dancing. That's a lot of fun with releasing a lot of energies. And on Sunday, the 5th, there's nothing going on other than the moon in Aries is deep into the shadow phase. And this would be a really good day to just rest and maybe, reflect on what's been going on the past 4 weeks, where you might be headed in the next 4 weeks. Don't act. Good for meditation, good for taking a walk in nature. So you still have that Aries energy, that fiery energy to burn off. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next week, be safe and well.